Yo, boys, it's your boy from the Void of Voices coming at you with my monthly message. Good to see you guys doing well, and I was wondering when Wooly is going to tie Reggie to a chair to watch almost all of Gundam. Just a thought.
Please no.
I don't think Gundam is Reggie's thing. I would have recommended it if I thought it was, but I don't think it is. I make recommendations to my friends, to Punch Mom, to everybody I know, based really on their tastes, and I get a little feel for what people are into and what they dig and stuff, and we go accordingly. I recommended Reggie check out Gurren Lagann because I knew you'd like that,
Which was cool.
and I knew that it would be primer for the games we were going to play, like Wonderful 101.
Mm-hmm.
But not everything I'm into is something I recommend everyone check out. I'm
Same.
very, very specific and careful about my recommendations when I know the person's tastes. There's people I know that I'm just like, yeah, you're not into the same shit. This is not a thing that you're particularly down for, you know. And if I might try something out of left field just to see, like, hey, like for example, if I wanted to know if you wanted to get into Toku, right? If I wanted to know if you liked if you would like Kamen Rider or Garo or any of that cool shit, I wouldn't just say, here, go watch Kamen Rider. I would go like, here is the Karas movie. Go watch this one movie. It's a single sitting commitment. And if you like it, there's a second part. And if you like that, then we can talk about what's coming afterwards. But you give it a test, right? I would not just go, here is 52 episodes of O's. Go watch it. You know what I mean? And I think that like a lot of people don't have the... I've been in this fucking recommendation and anime game for a while, and I've, you know, when I was president of the anime club in college, I was recommending lots of people that would come in things, and I'd be like, oh, check this out, this is pretty good, you might like this. We had a library of CDs and discs we'd loan out to people, and I'd like, yeah, I'd you know, be like, here's what I think would suit your taste depending on what I know you like. But you give it a little test, and what's better than the couple episode test in some cases is if you're into potentially a genre, you want to start with something that's low commitment but high quality. I wouldn't start out Reggie on just like a big old sit down and consume 52 episodes of Gundam and then another 13 episodes of another Gundam and then no. You don't do that. I would go, here is an example of like mecha in a, like, you can go real robot way or you can go super robot way, but like I would basically be like, check out like Gunbuster. Here you go. It's 6 episodes. It's really, really short. Watch like 1 or 2 and see how you feel about it. And then if you feel like committing to more, then maybe. And then after that, we'll talk about the time commitment, because I respect people's time. I really do. And you know, you want to get a feel for things. And I've seen people push things really aggressively. 6 episodes is 6 episodes too long? Yeah, I mean, look, a movie is good, but what I'm saying is this. I've seen people push things aggressively because they love them and not take the other person's tastes into consideration at all, and effectively ruin things. We can have Min tell the story sometime about when he sat down and pushed Haruhi on me. It did not go well.
Damn.
It did not go well. I was being pushed Haruhi by a lot of people, and then Min's like, no, just trust me. Let's do it. And then he sat down and we watched episode 0, and then we watched episode 1, whatever, in the fucked up order, you know. I don't know if you know anything about it, but like, it's this
Min
anime.
told me to watch it. I still haven't gotten down to it, but soon.
When did he tell you to watch it?
Probably coming here in the last year.
In the last year or so? Okay, so recently he brought it.
Yeah.
Min, are you back on your bullshit?
I think I might have asked him, like, oh, what should I watch? You know, no.
Listen, he's back on his bullshit. I hate that show.
Oh, yeah?
I think it sucks.
Capital
I
H.
fucking hate it.
Okay.
Really, really dislike it. There is so little about it that I enjoy. It bothers the shit out of
Holy moly.
me. And it was one of those things where, like, it wasn't even like prior to watching it, there was like the push, 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 push. And the push, push, push was like, all right, all right, all right, let's see what it is. But it was in a context where I remember he sat us down, it was in the basement, and he just put it on. It's like, no, 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 don't question it, just watch it, though.
He says he has no recollection of telling me. I definitely remember you, Min, telling me that the episodes were in a random order or something. Unless it was another show, but I remember the random order stuff.
Yeah. We're gonna let's start wrapping it up here. But like the thing with the recommends is, and it's really important, right, is that you have to know your audience, know who you're talking to, know the friend and what they're into. And if they're possibly open to a genre, test the waters a bit first with a low commitment, complete thing. The lower the commitment, the better. If you can give them a movie that you know is good and short, and you can see if they dig it, then you can start out, right? If you want to get someone into, if you want to see if someone likes, like for example, like some Macross, right? You can go, hey, check out Do You Remember Love? It's one movie, and you can watch that and see how you feel about it. And if you like that and you want a little bit more, then you can check out Macross Plus. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit longer, but it's still short. And then before you go necessarily committing to like a fucking massive thing, and unless you know for sure, and I'm like, Gurren Lagann is a surefire thing, so that's why I threw it at you. Same thing for like with Punch Mom, with other friends of mine. Like I pick things selectively. Friends of mine that are like into comics and things like that. Like I'm not throwing Saga at everybody. I'm throwing Saga at some people. I don't throw Vagabond at everybody. I say Vagabond for some people. It depends on your tastes, But I generally recommend overall that, like, if you don't have that full understanding, make sure you have an idea of introductions to the things you like in a less committed way. And do not sit your friends down and force them to watch 52 episode things. Don't do it. It's just, Unfortunately, there's no test for JoJo.
Yeah.
There's no test for JoJo.
Because every part is so different.
It's just what it is, right? But JoJo's kind of like it's almost like, have you heard of the memes? Do you think you'll like this wacky shit?
Yeah.
It's hard to really do a JoJo test. And I wish there was an easy way to go about it, but there isn't.
How do you feel when like somebody suggests you something and they're like, oh, but you have to reach this episode further up ahead?
I mean, listen, I like, even in Gurren, it's like, oh, get to the episode, get to 8, right? But it's like, you should still enjoy it right away. And like that, it should never be this sucks until you hit this point, right? Which, whatever, this is going back to, we're bringing up old shit, but my initial rejection of Hunter x Hunter, the original series, not the new one, for everyone who's late to the conversation, the old series of Hunter x Hunter wasted so much time that 12 episodes in, I was like, what is this cool part I'm waiting on? Because this is completely terrible, right? When you need somebody to sit tight and like ignore what's bothering them until something cool happens, you're not respecting their time. You're not doing it, I would say that Gurren has that catch episode where it's like, after you get to that point, holy fuck, you're in.
Yeah.
But if you aren't sold on the end of the first episode, where the robot appears, where the cool poses happen, and where they spin and you see the suns as they look out on the horizon, if that's not cool to you, then tap out. Like, you're done. It doesn't matter whether you get to the cool episode or not, right? And the show happens to be good enough that first episode is a really good hypothesis for what you're going to get, right? We broke out of the underground. Now we're seeing the sky. The sky is beautiful. Look at these robots. Look at this goofy character. Fun hijinks.
Yeah.
That should be what it is, in a way. I'll even give it credit where it's due. Bleach has its first episode where Ichigo fights the is it a Menos Grande or no it's the whatever, it's a big hollow.
Yeah.
Not a Menace, whatever. He fights the big hollow and he kills it, and Rukia's like, "Oh my god, his sword is so big, what the fuck?" And it's a big old like guts moment, you know? And it's it's an introduction to what this is going to be before it drops the ball. And like it does a decent job of like, yeah, if you like this, tune in. Right? If this is interesting to you, you know? So the first episode should generally have enough going on for that. I personally can give things up to 4, you know, with in terms of doing the little test, but yeah, I don't know, man.
I used to go to 4, but then there are some series that's like sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 8, so I'm like, I try to push a bit further now than I did before.
And did that habit come from like years and years ago?
From years ago, I would say 6. But after watching Gurren Lagann, I've extended it to 8 because for me, Gurren Lagann was like, "Oh, this is cool," and then oh no, it's really good, it's really good. But between like the very start and that 8th episode, there was a tiny dip where I was like, "Okay,
what's happening?
What's happening?"
Yes. But the initial thing was, "Oh, this is cool.
Oh, this is cool."
That's the most.
That's
important.
all that you need.
That's the most important. The dip, yeah, no, well, like I know,
yeah.
But that first part is. Okay, if you're down with this, you're gonna really like that.
Yeah.
And if you really like that, you're gonna love this, right? But you got to get that vibe out of it. The last thing I was gonna say, just really quickly, was there's so much anime, so much video games, so much media, so much Netflix, so much Crunchyroll, so much manga, so much everything these days. It is a fucking ocean of content.
Yeah.
Right? It is way harder these days to commit than it used to be, right? Again, I grew up with fucking my friend on the phone there. We were in college at the same time, following the anime seasons. What's coming out?
Yeah.
You know? It's super rough to kind of stay up with everything these days. And you just, especially like, and like as you get older, life gets in the way. You got shit going on, you know? So understand that like there's always a ton of shit. Understand that there's always a whole world that you've never got into that like you can spend all your time on, and you know, don't be like asshole gatekeepers about it, right? You know, like if you've watched every mecha show and you know what's good about that, that's cool. And if someone might be interested, you know, be cool about that. But don't be, you know, don't be that shitty person that's kind of like, I can't believe you haven't seen X or Y or whatever. Same thing for Toku, you know. You have to sit down and watch these 52 episode Kamen Rider series. There's many of them. There's decades and decades of them. There's one called Decade. You know, and the same thing for Sentai, same thing for, you know, like if you want to go through the Power Ranger stuff, and then like that's a whole thing. But then you're like, okay, but hold on though, where were you on the Nickelodeon cartoons? Did you watch all your Avatars and your Korras? Okay, well, we didn't have Nickelodeon here, so I had to go back and get it this way. But okay, but what about all the other Nickelodeon things? I was like, well, I don't know. I didn't have them. We didn't air them. I didn't have access. I went and you know, or like the Disney stuff or whatever. Like thankfully I went back and I caught Gravity Falls because it was super good. But that's an easy miss because it wasn't in my life at any point, you know. So yeah, people have things that they know, but there's blind spots. Everyone's got blind spots, you know. So be cool about that stuff. And respect their time. Respect their time when you do recommend.
It's valuable.
That's it.
All right.
You haven't seen Rugrats?